When I wrote this, it was like the last like writing session of like a month and a half of like just intense writing with like different people, different producers. I was very, very burnt out. I was like completely out of ideas. Like all of them had just been used or just like not good enough. So I kind of went in and I was like, guys, like I don't really have any ideas. Can we just like tell a story? Can we just maybe do some like sketch melodies and maybe something will come of that? We just wanted to tell a story about denial and about, you know, pretending you're not thinking about someone when you're obviously are. And we didn't like bother to like record it once and then loop it. He was literally just playing the same 4 chords for like 7 hours. We were just singing hundreds of melodies, and that was kind of the one that stuck. Like the first one that came was, I've been telling my friends I'm cool, I finally, like there's that kind of like fast syncopated melody that we really like. So from the start of the song, it's just instant denial. It's instant like, yeah, she's completely out of my head. Like telling all your friends like, nah, I'm fine guys, I'm over her. When, you know, you obviously are not. Yeah, I'm over her, but if I'm walking home and like I see something that reminds me of you, like I can't deal with that. Like I'm gonna have to take the long way home. I mean, in this lyric specifically, you're seeing them, I don't know, maybe at a party, and you go up to them and, you know, just to say like how are things, and they just like have completely moved on. Like that is heartbreaking to see like someone that you're still getting over is like completely moved on and they're already on to the next person. That would like break you and would break me. I get very attached very quickly. Like if I like a girl, like I'm like obsessed. Like, and I kind of, that's a bad trait. I feel like I find it really hard to get over people. So like if I really like someone, I instantly think there's no one else in the world that I would like. Tobias Desso Jr., the other writer in the room, he just like asked the keys player to just like stop playing on one chord, and then kind of stopped it, and then kind of sung the you, and then we were just like, yeah, that's it. And we 100% knew that was the lyric. The lyric was going to be you. We didn't know like how it would get to that, but we just knew that it would be that. At this point, you're just like not even denying anymore. You're just blatantly saying things that you like about her. If I see someone that I'm still getting over and she's like not getting over me and she's like with another guy, like I like have to like look. I can't like not look away. I can't like leave because that's just like even more kind of sad to just like, I'm out of here. So I kind of just have to like, it's, you know, it's tempting kind of just to like look there and kind of gaze and like see what we could have been. So the bridge is kind of like the last hurrah of just saying, I'm all in. Like I'm done pretending. I'm thinking about all the times we had, all like the great moments that I cherished, but you still want to block it out. You don't want that in you because that just makes, you know, getting over her so much harder. So in the first 2 choruses, the lyric is, I'm not thinking about you. So, and that changes at the outro because you say, I don't want to think about you. So you're telling everybody that, yeah, I am, but I still want you and all the memories out of my head.
Right now, I feel very kind of out of it because it's at the end of a tour. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little bit like, whoa, what's kind of happening? And like, I'm kind of getting prepared to get back into the normal swing of things, like back at home. Mm-hmm. But I mean, this tour has been incredible. I mean, and just like everything that's happened in the past 2 years has just been so crazy and so surreal. Like it's just come so fast. And yeah, I'm just super grateful for all of it. I've got such great people around me. So like I'm always having a good time. They're very, very supportive. I'm very lucky. Yeah, I mean, from such a young age, my dad's been a huge music nerd. He just loves music. And he kind of like influenced me so much with like, you know, he just put so many artists on my radar from such a young age, and I feel like those artists kind of influenced me, and you can still kind of hear that in my music now. And yeah, I mean, he kind of gave me guitar lessons when I was like 8. Or he can't play. But I mean, I kind of like I other than those like few lessons I did as a kid, I've just like kind of tried to figure it out myself. Guitar, I played that again for only like 2 years, but I really liked that, but I didn't have time to do lessons anymore.
Right.
And yeah, now I've just been trying to like pick that up again. I mean, I'm sure just trying to pick everything up again. Like I was better I was better when I was 8 than I am now. I mean, yeah, so far it's been pretty crazy. I mean, like I really do love it. Like I love being on stage. It's like one of the best feelings in the world when you know, people are singing back lyrics you wrote, you know, in an Airbnb, you know, like, you know, a year before. So like, yeah, that is honestly the best feeling in the world. And meeting fans is really cool as well when they, you know, say they're related to songs. And I love writing music. I just find that so much fun, especially writing with friends. So, I mean, like, that's pretty much all it entails. And that's been pretty great so far. That was pretty incredible. I mean, like, he was really cool, actually. He was a very, like, funny, genuine dude. And I was extremely nervous going in to meet him. But he was actually very nice, and we just like I met him with another band called Winston Surfshirt,
Mhm.
and we were all just like hanging out, talking about like new music, and you know he gave us like some advice, and he was really cool. Like you know I gave him some vinyl, and he like showed me some vinyls.
Yes,
Dude.
dude.
Oh my God,
He's a
yeah.
very very good dude. But yeah, that was like my biggest probably like ever shows I've ever played.
Wow.
Like so yeah, that was crazy. We played an arena in New Zealand. And that was just so much fun. I learned so much from him as well on stage. He's just such a great performer, and he's a really great dude. And yeah, that was so much fun. That was definitely a great experience. Okay. So what the kind of treatment was that there are two like really good friends, and you don't see so you see it's one's me, but you don't see the other person's face.
Yes.
Until halfway through the music video, and it is also me. So like it is also played by me, but my friend Samson Coulter was playing me when it wasn't actually me on camera when he couldn't see his face. It's very confusing. But yeah. Anyway, we're two friends. One person, like we were real good friends growing up, but then one of them starts to go off the rails. Exactly, like one of them, gets involved with drugs. Is acting inappropriately at parties, and kind of the other me is trying to stop it. And anyway, they have just a big argument and kind of have a bit of a tussle, and then they kind of go separate ways, and then they kind of realize that they're not the same anymore, but they come back to the same spot that they used to when they were kids. And
I mean, like I've been singing from like day one since I was like born. Like I've always loved music, and music has always been played around the house like from a super super young age. And my dad has definitely put me on to like all my favorite artists now. And so I started like properly singing when I was like 8 or 9. That's when I started getting like lessons and guitar lessons and stuff like that. And then I remember one day I sung the song "Let It Go" by James Bay. And I wanted to record it in like a studio, but I didn't really know anyone that like I could get in like a proper music studio. So
For sure.
Actually, my dad was in advertising, so he had a studio for like voiceovers. So I used that studio to record this cover, and then that made its way to the manager of a Australian producer called M Phases. And anyway, he wanted to work with me, and then he kind of got me into some writing sessions with people like Australian writers, and then I started like writing songs, and I loved it so much. And then we ended up releasing one of them, which was the first one was "Don't Tell Me." And
Fire.
yeah, and then things kind of have snowballed since then. I mean, like it changed dramatically after all this kind of music stuff started popping off. I mean, like I'm really barely ever home, and it is hard to try and keep friendships and to keep like in contact with my best friends. And that's what that song was about. Just kind of the like of how pretty much it's about how fragile childhood relationships can be, and it's like the acceptance of you just not talking to someone anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, probably the craziest thing that happened to me was getting an email from like Tyler the Creator and his management.
Awesome.
Asking if I wanted to play Camp Flognaw, which was the craziest thing that's ever happened to me, because like I was such a huge fan of him, and I've always like it was my dream to play Camp Flognaw like way in the future, like years from now. I was like, oh, maybe one day that could happen. But the fact that like it happened so early on, and I got to like actually meet him and kind of actually play the festival was just insane. And I feel like that will still probably be one of my favorite moments like ever.
Yeah.
Yes,
sure
yes. So I'm actually over here right now writing for the next EP. So for the past like 3 weeks, I've been doing a session like every day, just writing, trying to get more music to release. And so I've got like a single coming out in the next few weeks, and hopefully the EP will be ready in a few months.
Awesome.
I mean, obviously releasing new music, it feels like it's been ages since I've actually put out something new, and it's like the best feeling to drop a new song and like not hating it yet, because like once you've like dropped a song and it's been out for like a year and you just keep singing it over and over again, you just hear it, like you kind of lose the emotion behind it, and which is kind of sad. So I just love kind of releasing new music and then performing in that, and then like listening to the fans sing it back to me, and like that's just the greatest feeling in the world. Not really. I mean, like my like second cousins and like my dad's cousins and uncles and stuff all live over there, but my like first family always all live in New Zealand or Australia. I mean, lots of stuff. They were playing R&B, soul, jazz, mostly jazz, like Dave Brubeck, and then obviously like Stevie Wonder, playing Amy Winehouse, Bill Withers, yeah, all the greats. I was like, I stopped being so aggro when I was like 7. Like I was a really angry kid all the time, and I was never really happy. But when I was like 8, I kind of just like chilled out a little bit more, and I don't know. I was very open. Like I wasn't really shy, but I don't know. I reckon I was just a pretty open, sort of talkative. I did a cover of James Bay, Let It Go, and I think I was like the song my dad thought was like, oh, he's pretty good. And when I remember I was like really bored one holiday, and it was like just after I'd learned that cover, and since in my dad's kind of workplace he has a studio for like doing voiceovers, I went in there with one of his engineers and just recorded this cover just completely for fun, and it came out like I really loved how it came out. And I remember like a few weeks later my dad met the manager of M Phases, who's an Australian producer, and played that to him just because, you know, he just wanted to see what a professional person would think, and he really liked it, so M Phases wanted to work with me. In the industry, like even to this day, that I work with or meet or I'm friends with, all like 20 years older than me. So I'm kind of used to it now, but back then it was kind of weird going into like rooms with a dude that had like kids and stuff, and I was like writing a song. I was like, this is different. But, like I got used to it, and he's like the nicest guy, and I love him so much. So yeah, it was really good. I would come in with a concept every day that we wrote together, and I would kind of like I was 12. I didn't really know how to write lyrics, but he definitely helped me, and he would kind of help me put those concepts onto paper, and then obviously like I would write like a verse or something, and then he would kind of tell me what to change and stuff like that, and like how to do it differently, and then he'd always come up with like, you know, the chords and the musical side of it, and then I would usually come up with like the melodies and stuff like that, and that's how it really works. And so that was the Triple J Like a Version was really where everything kind of popped off. That's where everything kind of started. Like that was the craziest thing to see. Like my Instagram socials just like went from like a couple hundred to like a few thousand in like a couple hours, and that was mental to me. And then it was really cool to just see that kind of grow, and that Like a Version kind of got a little famous around Australia, and then I got to like do a few interviews on Triple J, and then it kind of got me like more kind of people wanted to work with me after that, so I could get more connects and stuff like that. Yeah. So after that, my manager went around like the world, kind of pitching me and like the music that I had to record labels, and then like a few were interested. So then I kind of went again with him to meet those people and meet those labels, and the one that stood out to me personally, because I just really like the people, was RCA, and that's who assigned me now. Like I went to meet RCA, and then like nothing really happened, and then I it was a little bit of like 6 months of kind of like dullness. We didn't really know what to do, so we ended up just putting out Don't Tell Me ourselves independently, and then after that, then the labels were kind of had more interest, I guess, and then that's when we signed with RCA. I mean, I was kind of prepared to find that out. Like I was with people that I knew would help me find that out, and I wasn't really scared signing that early, because the terms are really good, and they weren't. I wasn't really signing my life away. Yeah. So like even when I turned 18, or like 21, and when the deal's over, like I can just go back to school. Like I've got more options. I've got like a safety net. Like after, I mean, like the first time I showed my face was on that Triple J Like a Version. So that was after the first song I'm gonna put out, Golden Years, was out. So I didn't really show my face until then, and that was just done for a reason. So it was about the music, not me. I did a festival in Japan a couple years ago, Pop Spring, and that was the first time I'd ever been to Asia, and that was also very, very early on. I only had 2 songs out then, and that kind of got me like a pretty big
kind of following over there, which was really, really helpful. So I'm going there tonight. I'm going like all around Asia to tour for the first time, so I'm really, really excited. I mean, yeah, like, I haven't really kind of seen that much, which is kind of good. Like, I haven't had that many people come up to me and say that, but yeah, I get it. Like, there are people that have, you know, been working for more than I've been alive for, and like trying to, you know, make it. And I was like, I am like very, very lucky that I met the people I met, but like I do like work very hard, and I do feel like I deserve it, because I do, like, I do the hours as well as I don't feel like it's been given to me.
Yeah.
Right before I started releasing music, I changed schools. I was in like an all boys kind of very classic Australian school, and then I moved to like a co-ed, more artsy school, and then when I started releasing music, like I was expecting, you know, to be a little bit, you know, of like people would be a little bit standoffish, but since it was more of an artsy school and like lots of people did music over there and were releasing music as well, like I felt a lot more at home. I mean, yeah, like the music that I'm working on right now and will be releasing very soon is a little bit different from what I've done before. It is, I feel like it's a little bit more me, just because for the first EP, when I was writing it, I was young and I didn't really have that much creative direction because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I feel like this time I've definitely taken more creative direction, and I'm kind of leading the writing sessions and kind of saying, all right, this is what I want to do. I want to make a song like this, and I want it to be about this. Like, I need you guys to help me do that. So it definitely has gone in more of a, it definitely reflects on the music that I listen to more than I do. Yeah, for a while now, and I've just absolutely loved everything he's done, and yeah, he's been a huge influence on me.
Yeah.
Just like, not even like the music, just like everything he does, like the whole thing that he does with Golfwang and kind of the festival, like just everything. He's just such an inspiring person. Yeah, so I met Khalid's A&R, Tunji, who's now at my A&R, a couple years ago when I was doing those kind of label meetings, and I remember we were kind of just joking about it, because we were talking about like I really wanted to do a support tour around Australia, and he was like, oh, like maybe one day you could support Khalid, and I was like, haha, very funny. Like when things kind of started to pop up a little bit, my manager and him were talking a little bit more, and yeah, it happened. Like Khalid heard my stuff and wanted me to support him, which is insane. And yeah, I got to meet him, and he was really dope. And now, yeah, I've got a good relationship with him now, which is really cool. And yeah, it was just such an amazing experience. Like, it was the biggest shows I've probably ever done. And yeah, it was at all. I feel like we're all very similar. I feel like I'm very similar to what it was like before it all kind of happened. And yeah, like they're all very, very supportive of me. Like my sisters are the greatest. Like they're very, very supportive of my music and everything. Yeah, and everything I'm doing. So yeah, I mean, not as much as he did before. Like he definitely really helped me as a songwriter. Like when I was writing the first like few songs, and yeah, like right now, like he always used to come with me to like those little writing sessions and kind of help me, you know, stand in the back of the room and kind of just like, you know, make sure I'm staying on track. And yeah, but now like I've been writing by myself or like with other people, like not even Thief, like for the past like couple years now in LA. So yeah, he definitely doesn't have as much input, but I definitely value his opinion on all the songs that I make. And I mean, I feel like I was confident, but I feel like I've grown in confidence in different ways. Like just going up to people that I respect. Like I would have never done that, but now if I see someone that like I really respect, and I kind of got more confidence to kind of go up to them and like say hi and kind of introduce myself like that, which I never would have done before. But I feel like this stuff kind of helps, like interviews and stuff like this, and kind of just like talking to strangers all the time has kind of helped me, you know, grow that confidence. So, I don't know. I feel like keeping relationships with my friends, really. Like family, I know will never leave, but like my friends that I've like had and the friendships that I've cherished, like back at home, have definitely been harder to maintain just because I'm away so much. And yeah, it is really hard kind of going back home, and like everyone's changed so much, and some people don't really want to hang out with you anymore.
Oh wow.
And then some people have changed like also for the worse, and you just don't want to like hang out with them either. So yeah, that's kind of hard.